Track 1, the introduction. A number of readers have written us about conflict resolution in modern world affairs. So we picked one, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. What can be done, what should be done, and how should it be approached? What we want to keep in mind here is following the values in conflict resolution. First, we want to be patient, impartial, evaluate the pluses, minuses, and interesting points, apply our thoughts and ideas to it, but not to take sides. As has been said by Edward de Bono, who started PMI Thinking, he realized that smart people couldn't think well because they argued. So the point he put forth in PMI Thinking was, let's not argue. Let's talk about the pluses of the situation, the minuses, and the interesting points, and not take sides. By doing that, we let others take sides, others decide what to do, but we provide the framework. The wonderful thing about providing a framework is you can't be attacked. It's been said that 80% of lawyers negotiate according to the other side. I think that's an honest admission. Most people do. So we're not going to take a side. We're going to say, look, here's the situation. There's a territory. Here's our map of it. Please try to help us do better. Work with us on the pluses. Work with us on the minuses. Work with us on the interesting points. And we thought, as many of our readers did, what could be a better example than the Middle East problem? Let's work together to see what we can do. And remember, as in all conflicts, if people don't want to solve problems, then they don't. We leave it to them. We don't make a moral judgment. Track 17, a test case, the Middle East conflict. The Middle East conflict is a good place for us to test how conflict resolution, the way we've described it and given it to you, can work. The first place to start is PMI Thinking. Let's talk about the pluses of the agreement. If there was an agreement, the plus for countries outside of the Middle East is they wouldn't have to hear about it anymore. They wouldn't have to spend a lot of money on it. They wouldn't be criticized for not doing anything about it. In essence, it would be the absence of pain, and that's a good thing. For Israel, the plus is they would not be under worldwide attack. That would help them. People wouldn't be critical of them. The plus for the Palestinians is they could get on with their life and start to build a country, as opposed to being in a perpetual war. The advantage for the other Arab states is they wouldn't have to hear about it anymore either, and they could let the Palestinians deal with their own hash, leave the Israelis alone, and get on with their life. Those are all the positives. Let's now address the negative. For the United States, I can't think of a possible negative other than if it got resolved, something else would take its place because nature abhors a vacuum. But I can't think of anything the United States would lose on. And I would welcome anybody's thoughts about how America could lose. It'd probably cost us less money, we would get less criticized, and people would leave us alone. And since George Washington's farewell address warning us about foreign entanglements, most Americans believe that our efforts overseas are not so good, and it would be better if we didn't have to do it. As far as the other countries in the world outside of the Middle East, I can't think of a reason there'd be a problem for this. They'd have nothing to lose. They wouldn't have to hear about it. They wouldn't have pressures, particularly those with Muslim populations. So for them it would be good. Now we go to the Israelis. What's the negative for the Israelis? Well, as far as I can see, the Israelis don't get anything. They're supposed to give up half the capital they currently have. They're supposed to give up their settlements. They're supposed to pay for a right of return for people that lived there before 1948, and a host of other things. When you ask what do they get to be acknowledged it's a Jewish state. Well, it is a Jewish state, and it is a state, but I guess that's the one thing that might matter. The other negative is that Israel would have to give up some of its military and be more quote-unquote
Sample complete. Ready to continue?